Thank you for tuning in to MacroView Television, and welcome to a brand new edition of the Taiwan Outlook, the program that lets you see the different faces and hear the different voices of Taiwan. I'm your host, Ray Guo. From commerce to tourism, the relations between the state of Hawaii and Taiwan have always been close, especially in this year of centennial celebration of the founding of the Republic of China. And on today's program, we're delighted to have Mr. Alex Lei, who is the Executive Director of the State of Hawaii office in Taipei, to talk about this ever-expanding relations between Taiwan and Hawaii. Welcome to the program, Alex.
Thank you, Raymond. Aloha, everyone.
Okay. Well, Alex, as I stated at the beginning of the program, that this is the 2011, the year of the centennial celebration for the founding of the Republic of China. As we know, the ROC founding father, Dr. Sun Yat-sen, spent a substantial amount of time in Hawaii, living and also studying there. Can you then tell us what is the special occasion of the centennial founding of the Republic really meant for these relations between Taiwan and the state of Hawaii?
Sure, Raymond. First of all, on behalf of the State of Hawaii government, we would like to send our best wishes and success to Republic of China.
Yes.
And especially at this 100 years founding events.
Okay.
Speaking about Dr. Sun Yat-sen, I lived in Hawaii about 14 years.
14 years.
And even nowadays, people in Hawaii appreciated Dr. Sun Yat-sen in numbers of ways.
Okay.
First of all, Dr. Sun Yat-sen is not only being recognized as a great person in the world, but his thinking, his vision is changing a lot of people, even nowadays.
Okay.
For example, Dr. Sun educated in Hawaii for numbers of years. And according to his statement, he said, in Hawaii, I recognize the power of knowledge, Western knowledge, and also the value of democracy. And he's not only overthrown a Qing dynasty and established Republic of China, but also for that grassroots, that vision, the power of change, inspire a lot of people even nowadays.
Okay.
So Dr. Sun Yat-sen is a great asset, not only for Chinese people, but for the whole world.
Okay. So what are some of the major events that you have planned for your state office, in Taipei, as well as back home in the state of Hawaii?
Well, basically, instead of State of Hawaii office in Taipei organized it, I would say Republic of China organized numbers of events this year to celebrate. For example, the Overseas Compatriot Affairs Commission organized a very unique special event called Torch of Peace Lighting Ceremony. This is happening in end of March this year, where Overseas Compatriot Affairs invite Chinese community leaders around the world, about 300-400 people, gathering in Hawaii and lighting the torch, to memorize Dr. Sun Yat-sen. When he started the revolution, his mind, it's like a torch, pass on to the whole world. And also, Hakka TV is going to film a TV episode in Hawaii called My Brother, Dr. Sun Yat-sen, which will give a different version of Dr. Sun Yat-sen from the family perspective, from his living and educated interaction with the local communication perspective. And Taiwan Council of Cultural Affairs contracted a media company is going to go Hawaii to film a documentary film, Dr. Sun Yat-sen. And there's a lot of events. The Taipei Economic and Cultural Office in Hawaii, they had a great historical exhibition in Chinese Cultural Plaza. And just a lot of events. And also the local community celebrating this special events with Taiwan as well.
And as we were discussing before the taping started, Alex, the last time I was in Hawaii was back about 2 years ago in 2009. It might have been, my bad luck. because the local economy at the time wasn't very good because of the global financial recession. However, I never had the opportunity to visit some of the sites that are in different islands in Hawaii that will commemorate Dr. Sang Yat-sen. Can you on the program today tell us what are some of the spots that we will still see signs or statuettes of Dr. Sang Yat-sen commemorating his years of spent in the state of Hawaii?
Sure. First of all, in Honolulu, in Chinatown Gateway Park, in year 2007, the state of Hawaii changed the name of that park to Dr. Sang Yat-sen Memorial Park.
Good.
Also at Maui, there's Dr. Sang Yat-sen Park, Ho Shing Museum, also Chinese Cultural Plaza, where housing Dr. Sang Yat-sen's statue.
But we understand that the Chinese immigrant into the state of Hawaii happened back in the early 1900s.
Yes.
So are there any sites on, in many parts of Hawaii that will commemorate the early settlers from China?
Oh, yes. Mostly you can find in Chinatown.
In Chinatown, all right.
Where in Honolulu, we still preserve a lot of old building, 1902, 1910, 1920.
Of course.
So the government is trying to preserve that historical site, to memorize the Chinese immigrant to their contribution to state of Hawaii.
And that is a tradition that still continues.
Yes,
today.
In Chinatown, Honolulu, Chinatown, you still can find a lot of historical buildings.
Yes.
A lot of Chinese-operated restaurant, grocery shop, small and medium businesses.
Okay,
still exists.
Yes, but when we, for most people in Taiwan at least, when we think of Hawaii, we think of a tourist destination.
Right.
But Hawaii is more than just tourism, attractions. There is, like you and I were talking about, the development of alternative energy, taking place in the state. And also there are many, other research and university institutes, in the state of Hawaii. For example, University of Hawaii, and then a couple others. And then I've been to the East-West Center, for meetings, for conferences and things. So given the fact that there is so many things that Hawaii offers to, the world, and you must have, knowledge about the increasing number of Chinese immigrants and students, as well as Taiwanese immigrants and students going into Hawaii for studying purposes, for working purposes, or whatever. And how is the situation today between the Chinese, population, on the island, and also the Taiwanese population, in Hawaii?
Okay, great. First of all, I'd like to update everybody.
Yes.
The total population in the state of Hawaii is about 1.25 million people.
Okay.
And among that, for Chinese background, total about 180,000.
180,000. That's quite a bit. Yes.
And according to the statistic, there are over 4,000 Taiwanese work and lived in Hawaii currently.
That's not bad.
Yes. And there are about 300 Taiwanese students study in University of Hawaii, Hawaii Pacific University, and Chaminade, and others. And talking about Chinese, the new immigrants and old immigrants, in Hawaii, Chinese people and Taiwanese, they contributing to our society in great deal, in numbers of ways. First of all, on the political side, at the moment, there are 3 House of Representatives. They are Chinese related, Chinese blood related. And the Speaker of House of Representatives, Mr. Kelvin Say, is also Chinese background. Deputy Mayor of Honolulu, Chinese. Chief of Prosecutor in Hawaii, Chinese. So not only on political sides, and also from the financial institutions, there are numbers of bankers, and Chinese invest in own operating bank institutes, and also educations, As we all know, a lot of Chinese, when they migrated worldwide, there are two sectors, on my personal observation. One is on the traditional business,
yes.
Like shop operator, restaurants, small business, supermarket, grocery store. And some went to real estate. And a lot of that went to education, became a professor at the university or teacher in high school. So from the education, business, and financial institution, we see Chinese everywhere in the state of Hawaii. And we appreciate that.
Okay. And although there's, compared to the Chinese, population, the Taiwanese population is relatively small, 180,000 versus 4,000. But do the two groups interact? I mean, you mentioned that they both contribute to the development of Hawaii, but do they interact much? I mean, do they jointly conduct activities?
Oh, sure. Right. Yes, Raymond, in great deal. Hawaii is unique in a way that Chinese ethnic background, they really appreciate their heritage and their cultural background. They celebrate all major events just like we do in Taiwan.
Chinese New Year.
Chinese New Year, the Dragon Boat Festival, the Moon Festival.
Yes.
We have the Chinese community in Chinatown, Cultural Plaza. They celebrate that.
Okay, good. And that's always, a common language that combines the two groups together.
Yes, and the old immigrants and new immigrants.
Yeah, they all come together.
In Hawaii, we call that ohana. Ohana meaning a big family. Everybody is a member of the family.
Good.
So once you come to Hawaii, you become our ohana.
Oh, certainly welcome that. Okay. We're going to take the first break on our program today, and when we come back, we will continue our conversation with Mr. Alex Lei, who's Executive Director of the State of Hawaii office in Taipei. I'll see you in just a few minutes. Welcome back to the second segment of today's program here on the Taiwan Outlook. I'm your host, Ray Guo. We'll continue our conversation with Mr. Alex Lei, who is Executive Director of the State of Hawaii office in Taipei. Alex, you're the Executive Director of the State of Hawaii office in Taipei. Can you then, for the benefit of our audience, share with us what are some of the major goals and functions of your office?
Sure. First of all, State of Hawaii established a Taipei office back to 1994.
Oh, okay.
So we have a very long-lasting, very good relationship with Taiwan.
All right.
And our office function divided to numbers of sectors. First of all, State of Hawaii office in Taipei, we promote business investment and export of Hawaii goods and products to Taiwan. We promote education and cultural exchange. And we promote sister state, sister city relationship.
Exactly.
And also we are the liaison office for both government. For example, the political leaders visit from State of Hawaii to Taiwan, vice versa. And we participate and promote government cooperation projects.
Okay. And given the fact that there's been tremendous amount of improvement in cross-strait relations between China and Taiwan, from your office's perspective, how do you then promote the functions and some of the objectives that you may have in terms of cross-strait economic relations?
Yes. Well, first of all, we are excited to see the new trend in changes between two leaders across the strait.
Yes.
There are more communications, more interactions, more direct flights between Taiwan and China. And as you may know, State of Hawaii have two offices in Asia. We only have two offices in Asia, one in Taipei, one in Beijing.
One in Beijing.
So from our eyes, from our view, we call that Greater China region, which include Taiwan, Hong Kong, Macau, and mainland China. It's so important that the overall, the Greater China economy booming versus the world trend.
Of course.
So we are excited to see Taiwan has a more relationship with mainland China, which gives state of Hawaii more opportunity to interact, to cooperate for both sides.
Okay, good.
What I see, the Taiwan advantage, Taiwan is unique in a sense that the value of democracy, the science and technology, the innovation, and also international experience and network, which will help. Taiwan can play a very important role to help Hawaii and U.S. or to the world to serve as a bridge, to take the U.S. and overseas experience investment combined with the Taiwan advantage. Again, the market can be mainland China,
of course,
or in the whole Asia.
Okay.
So I see Taiwan has a great value and great platform.
Yes, and we were discussing earlier that the relations between Taiwan and the state of Hawaii have always been very close, but people usually think about Hawaii as a place for pleasure.
Right.
But actually, you told me before the taping started, the relationship is very multifaceted. There are many areas, for example, in science and technology development, in research, in education, that are actually very much, in close touch, between the two sides. Can you then give us a general description of the state of relations between Hawaii and Taiwan today?
Sure. I lived in Hawaii 14 years before.
Okay.
Like Raymond, you said, yeah. we have wonderful natural access.
Of course.
Sun, sand, and surf. So tourism is a vital industry for us, but we also have something else to offer. Between Taiwan and state of Hawaii, we have very close cooperation program. For example, on the education side, there are sister university. So state of Hawaii, we had altogether about 14 or 15 sister university relationship.
Okay.
And exchange students, exchange professors, jointly organize attending international conference. From the government side, the state of Hawaii and Taiwan provincial government established a sister state
relationship
and province relationship 20 years ago.
All right, yes.
And sister city and county relationship including Taidong, Hualien, Pingdong, Kaohsiung, and Penghu.
Okay.
So every year there's leaders, government leaders, the mayor, the county executives, different groups visited Hawaii, and vice versa.
Okay.
And also we appreciate that we welcome the President of Republic of China, choosing state of Hawaii as their transit destination when come to overseas visit. So we had the opportunity to meet with a number of presidents, vice presidents, and also important government leaders and business leaders.
Okay.
On the military side, as you know, the Pacific Command Center is located in Hawaii.
Yes, of course.
And has a very close relationship and cooperation program with Taiwan Ministry of Defense. East-West Center, and organize numbers of important forum, seminars, speeches, workshop. So oftentimes, Taiwan leaders being invited to participate, to take part, to give a keynote speech. On the science and technology side, this is something we really like to promote, Raymond.
This is something also, Alex,
right.
not many people know about. Yes.
Right. Hawaii and Taiwan share a similar situation. We all located on the island.
Yes.
And overly dependent on fossil fuel, imported fossil fuel. So the cost of energy, the cost of electricity became so high. So state of Hawaii, we had an energy cooperation program with Taiwan Bureau of Energy on the green energy and new energy cooperations. Taiwan Academic Syndicat have astronomic station on Big Island, Hawaii.
All right.
For observation, research, and academic study purposes. Taiwan National Science and Technology Center for disaster reduction has a joint cooperation program with Pacific Disaster Center, especially for tsunami warning.
Okay.
You know, and with State of Hawaii, we assist and facilitate Taiwan Bureau of Energy and E-Tree to develop ocean thermal energy conversion.
Okay.
So I'm so excited. Taiwan is heading the same direction like us.
Okay.
You know, to value the importance of new energy of today, the use of new energy of today.
Yes.
And on the cultural side, State of Hawaii and Taiwan, we have similar indigenous culture.
Exactly.
So there are numbers of performers, artists visited on both sides, from Hawaii to Taiwan, to participate in a number of events and celebrations, and vice versa. On the protocol and government relations side, oh boy, that is very, very close.
Okay.
The governor, lieutenant governors, chief of staff, senators, House of Representatives, they visited Taiwan.
Quite a bit.
Quite a bit, and vice versa. Taiwan's leaders from government, business, military, they all visited Hawaii.
Yes.
And last but not least, I would like to mention that the State of Hawaii government and the legislation body very support Taiwan to join international organizations.
That's good.
For the past 6 to 10 years, our government agency and also legislator been sending resolutions, letter to support Taiwan to join WHO and free trade agreement and visa waiver for United States to support Taiwan, and also recently for International Civil Aviation Organization.
ICAO.
So our government, our people are very support Taiwan.
100% behind Taiwan's participation internationally.
Internationally, yes.
So what would be then, based on the information you just provided, Alex, what would be, maybe in your personal capacity, what would be the recommendation that you would make to both governments, government in Taiwan and also state government in Hawaii, that we can further enhance our bilateral relations?
Yes. I think number one is to utilize the geographic location.
All right.
Because Taiwan is in such a unique, important location in Asia. Not only a window to China, but also to Southeast Asia.
Okay.
In Hawaii, we call that gateway between East and West.
Yes.
So I would suggest both governments to organize more international events to be held in Taiwan or in Hawaii.
Okay.
And also we welcome Taiwan business, more business to invest
in Hawaii.
More Taiwanese visit Hawaii, and also a student to study in Hawaii. And I also like to report that this year is a very important year for State of Hawaii and also Taiwan and also the whole world. Where the APEC summit is going to be held in Hawaii in November. So we welcome the Taiwan leaders, business people to visit Hawaii, not only November, but any time as well.
Year round.
Year round.
Yes. All right. We're going to take another break on our program, and when we come back, we will continue our conversation with Mr. Alex Lei, who is the Executive Director of the State of Hawaii office in Taipei. I'll see you in just a few minutes. Welcome back to our program here on the Taiwan Outlook. I'm your host, Ray Guo. We will continue our conversation with Mr. Alex Lei, who is the Executive Director of the State of Hawaii office in Taipei. Alex, we understand that in addition to your capacity as the Executive Director of the State of Hawaii office in Taipei, you're also a very well-known island economist. Can you then first give us a definition of what is the island economy?
Thank you, Raymond, for the compliments, but I will not call myself island economist specialist. But all my life,
too modest, yes.
All my life, I live in island. I was born and raised in Taiwan, migrated to Hawaii, and then moved to Guam, and then come back to Taiwan. So all my life, I'm an islander.
Okay, good.
First of all, speaking about island economy, I think on today's world, there are a number of challenges facing the island economies. First of all, as a result of global warming, raise of sea level problems that affect many, many nations around the globe. On the island economy, there are different challenges and perspectives that need all the wisdoms from the local government and also international helps. For example, the natural disasters and preventions. Issues like waste management, how you handle, how you're dealing with that, how you reduce the waste problems. The coastal protections, erosions, and ocean resources. There's always controversial between preserve and develop. For the island economy, it's like a crossroad. Okay. You can't stop on the old day.
No.
Preserve is a good way to keep the value, the way of life, to face today's changes.
Of course.
But then you're also looking at developments. For the islands, they also have a challenge like fresh water supply.
Yes.
There's no pump you can plug in somewhere, and limited land resources. The island cannot grow, although everybody hope that with the modern technology you can. Yes. But then the speed and the effect is small. Energy issue is a big challenge. The cost of electricity is very expensive because everything depends on imported fossil fuel. And how to diversify your tourism resources. Because on today's world, from the traveler's mind, that people always looking for change. They always looking for something new, to attract people to visit and visit again. I'm proudly to say in the state of Hawaii, there are about over 7 million visitors a year. Among those, 2/3 are repeater. Okay. So you can see how difficult, how important for repeater, how you're going to help people to come back to visit you again and again. All right. So that need a combination of policy, community efforts, and also adding up new attractions and new themes. Okay. And biodiversity, how to preserve, how to protect for the limited island resources. All right. Government vision and policy, also very important. Yes. Because by being on the island, you don't want for your people, for your policy to be isolated. No. Ocean is not something to segregate you to other world. Okay. Rather, it's a platform to connect to the whole world. And regional cooperation is also very important. And transportation, communications, also vital to provide sustainable economy. Okay. How to enhance or increase science and technology. Okay. And last but not least is human resources and training. That's right. For islanders, the tendency is that, from my personal observation, is that people are enjoying their way of life. Yes. Not necessarily to say they don't want to change or they don't want something new. No. But they are very comfortable with their present living conditions, environments. So how do we motivate, from a government perspective, the islanders, that people welcome to the world and also gradually have some change to face today's economic challenge? Okay, yeah. Alex, we understand that you also wear multiple hats. In addition to the executive director at the State of Hawaii office in Taipei, you're also a special assistant, a special consultant to the president of Palau. And we understand Palau is also an island economy.
And the fact of the matter remains is that a lot of people, when they think of Palau, even though it's a diplomatic ally of Taiwan's, we think of tourism also. What will be some of the suggestions that you have made to the president of Palau in terms of Palau's own economic development?
Well, Raymond, that is a tough issue. First of all, on my different hat, I had the opportunity and honor to be acknowledged by Honorable President Johnson Torabing, President of Republic of China. Okay. I'm sorry, Republic of Palau.
Yes.
And he appointed me as a National Economic Advisor, which sometimes I feel I need to do more for the island I love. Okay. All my life I live on the island. For Palau, Palau is unique in a way that beautiful natural ocean resources and a fantastic cultural essence and aspect. And the people are extremely friendly. Okay. But for the economic developments, what Palau is really need is more visitors, more direct flight.
That's right.
Expand the current airport so that a big bird, 747, can be landed. Palau is on the way to develop ocean resources, a research cooperation program worldwide. Palau is taking a step to seriously consider on the application of new energy, like solar energy, the wind energy, which the government is focused on that, and the government of Palau is thinking more business investment, also government support worldwide. Palau is on the way to build a cultural center where that the local culture can be exhibited, performed, and can be appreciated by all visitors. And Palau is improving education systems, and human resources training and job training. And Palau is interesting that, sometimes my personal view as my background is on the tourism. So from the tourism perspective, sometimes people want to see a culture and old traditions, but they also want something new. So Palau is on a crossroad, how to identify and to select something new, but can be blended in with the local culture. All right. I think that's a challenge for all tourism industry concerned.
Yes. Yeah. And also, Alex, we talked about the changes in China-Taiwan relations since 2008. And you also mentioned a number of issues as, island economist, that some of the island economies or all of the island economies face, including global warming, the problems, in terms of, lack of natural resources. So given the fact that there are changes, in our relations with China, how would you then, in your private capacity, make some recommendations for Taiwan's economic development, including the problems and issues that you mentioned earlier?
Well, that's a tough question, Raymond.
It's a big question too. Yes.
it's a very big question. I think Taiwan is on the great successful path to establish regional cooperations, not necessarily with China, but with the whole world as well. I think Taiwan, with the increasing visitors from mainland China, which give Taiwan industry, tourism industry, a great opportunity to not only to attract more visitors, to benefit local community, not only to create more jobs, but I think on the level of quality of tours, the quality of destinations, there's a great room to improve. And also, as you know, when visitors come, also business will follow. The investors will come. So I think Taiwan is situated in a great position to attract foreign investments or China investments to Taiwan. I think the people here have the great opportunity, and this is happening now.
As we were talking about the changes that are happening around us, how would you think that, as individuals, that we can better prepare ourselves? We have about 40 seconds left.
Well, I think from the tourism and business investment point of view, you want to welcome visitors to come.
Yes.
You have to come from your heart.
All right.
And this is not only government propaganda.
All right.
This is have to be come from every individual people, their hearts, to welcome your family and friends to visit you.
Okay.
I think that's a fundamental key, how to inspire, how to encourage people from their heart, they recognize and they welcome.
I think that's a very valuable suggestion for all of us who are concerned about the island economy, including Taiwan's. We're going to take the final break on our program today, and when we come back, we will continue our conversation with Mr. Alex Lay, who is the Executive Director of the State of Hawaii office in Taipei. I'll see you in just a bit. Welcome back to the final part of today's program here on the Taiwan Outlook. I'm your host, Ray Guo. We're continuing our conversation with Mr. Alex Lay, who is the Executive Director of the State of Hawaii office in Taipei. Alex, we understand that besides your office, there's also the State of Hawaii Tourism Office that's set up in Taipei. Then can you tell us, how do you interact and cooperate with each other to try to attract more investors into the state of Hawaii and also tourists from Taiwan to Hawaii?
Okay, great, Raymond. Boy, you've done your great research.
Well, I'll try to do the best I can, yes.
State of Hawaii have two offices here in Taiwan. One is my office. The second one is a tourism promotion office.
Okay.
Tourism, as I reported earlier, is so vital to our island economy.
Yes.
And tourism representative office here, they've done a great job for us. And promote FIT, group travel, is business investment, business incentive groups to Hawaii. And my office is a more focus and promote on government cooperation, special groups, forums, education training, diplomatic visits, special interests type of...
and also science and technology.
Science and technology, that exchange programs. And there are over about 20,000 Taiwanese visited Hawaii every year.
Every year.
And we like to see the number increase. But Taiwan been support state of Hawaii for a very long time. We hope to see that continue to grow.
All right. And given the fact that the relationship between the two sides are getting, even closer, and what will be some areas that you will anticipate, maybe in the next, year or so, that there will be, increasing contacts between Hawaii and Taiwan?
Well, first of all, we like to have more Taiwan-based operated airline operating direct flight from Taipei
so
to
far,
Hawaii.
Both China Airlines and Evergreen, do they fly to Hawaii?
Well,
Air?
at the moment, China Airlines operating Taipei, Tokyo, Honolulu flight.
Okay, so it's
unfortunately,
not direct.
last year, the China Airlines reduced their direct flight from Taipei to Honolulu. And with the finger crossed, we hope they come back.
Okay, they will resume.
And we hope they resume, yes.
Okay, all right.
Yes.
And
Absolutely.
how about EVA?
Well, EVA Air been charter flight, direct flight from Taipei to Honolulu from the past.
Okay.
They operated sometimes, they discontinue, they have their global planning. And likewise, we hope EVA come back as well.
Okay, and how about airlines serving the route from Hawaii to Taiwan? Any particular American airlines that does that service right now?
Oh yes, numbers of airlines, but mostly it's via Tokyo.
Oh, okay.
Via Tokyo to Taipei.
Okay, so still not enough direct flights between the two sides yet.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay, and how does the government of the state of Hawaii will try to compromise between the goals of encouraging economic development, but also at the same time protecting the environment?
Okay, great. I think fundamentally that any government, when they want to attract tourism or business investment, my personal view is to look at their local environment as a whole.
Yes.
If you build a city, a town, attractions, where all the people live there, they are prosper and happy.
Yes.
Eventually, tourism will come.
Of course.
So tourism is not something that you're building a new theme park, you're building numbers of hotels, you create a lot of man-made things. No. You look at your infrastructure, your local people welfares. If the community are happy, tourism will come.
Yeah, you mentioned earlier about
like individually,
yes. That we need to open our hearts, open our minds, open our arms, and welcoming visitors from all over the world to Taiwan.
Right.
So that is also something that you have been able to pick up from experiences of living in places like Hawaii and Guam.
Right.
And then that Taiwan can certainly use. How about some other lessons that we can learn from Hawaii's experience, especially in terms of preserving Aborigine culture?
Yes. Hawaii, we are very fortunate to have indigenous culture,
yes,
or Aborigine culture, where that visitors appreciate the value, the ways of life, the music, the song, but most important is the people and the stories. In Hawaii, we're taking from the indigenous culture and help, in addition to that, to provide additional commercialization opportunity to make it more acceptable, more attractive for all visitors concerned.
Okay.
And I think Taiwan is similar. You have a great indigenous culture here. The music, the song, the dance, and the villages. But it's assets. It's a great asset.
Yeah, we also have many well-known local musicians.
Yes.
Who are of the Aborigine, origin at the beginning.
Right.
And also the fact is that Alex, when we look at the relations between the two sides, we also have to look at the some of the experiences of individuals like yourself, who have been living on the island mostly, throughout your life. Given the fact that you mentioned in, the festival of Austronesian culture, then what is your perception nowadays? When you look at yourself and look at some of the experiences other islanders might have felt, in their growing up or maturation process.
I see. Well, I think for the indigenous culture, it's very important that government need to step in to help, to provide a limited and complete support. When I say limited, meaning that without interference, without ignorance of what was happening in the past, to respect in the individual cultures. For example, the self-identity issue, self-identification issues, is a global issue for indigenous community. What is really important is to preserve their language. Like in Hawaii, we have Kamehameha School, which they use mother tongue to teach from elementary to high school.
All the way through.
All the way through. I think education is essential, to have an indigenous community to appreciate not only the culture, but they have a place, they have a platform, they have a school to continue for their language studies. And also, I think from the government, also community standpoint, we need to help indigenous people to create a platform, to to create an incubation center, help them to better understanding on the process of commercialization, for better understanding to enter today's modern world. Again, like I said, indigenous culture, I think it's a human asset, of course, worldwide.
And Alex, for the remainder of the program, we're going to talk something a little more on the personal side. And we won't get too personal, so don't worry about it. And Alex, as you mentioned, that you left Taiwan when you were 17, and that you spent about 14 years overseas before coming back to Taiwan. And before coming back, you were in Guam for some time, I suppose.
Yes.
And you're, of course, native Taiwanese, but you grew up mostly in the United States. How would you then identify yourself? given the fact that you're truly an international citizen. You're being exposed to, two of the, leading cultures in the world, the one in Taiwan, in China, the one in the United States. How would you then identify yourself, and how would you, give a word of advice to people who are watching our program as the globalization process continues?
First of all, I thank you. First of all, I see myself as American Chinese.
Okay.
I appreciate the fact that I was born and raised in Taiwan. Mm-hmm. And I had a great opportunity to receive a tremendous important Chinese education, the culture, the value of Chinese way of thinking. I appreciate that. Okay. But then again, in American, the Western education trained me to become more logic, and understand the power of knowledge, and to have a different vision and view. Personally, to the audience, well, rather, I would talk to Raymond. What I think the big differences for Taiwan. When I was grow up, I'm 52 years old. So back to 1960, 1970. At that time, the vision of the society, the government, give us a great view of to become international.
Yes, indeed. Yes.
To go out to compete with the whole world. To be proud to be a Taiwanese or Chinese on the global platform. Exactly. I understand the localization is important, but then again, we have to look at the whole world.
Yes.
After all, we are living in the global village. Good luck.
Yes, I certainly enjoyed this conversation very much, and certainly welcome you being on the program today, Alex.
Thank you.
We want to wish you all the best in all your personal and professional endeavors in the future.
Thank you very much. My pleasure and honor to be here.
Well, likewise.
Thank you.
Yes. Well, thank you for watching our program today. I'll see you next time on MacroView Television. Thank you.